check about the two modes you can use here in the cycling trainer, the ERG mode and the sim mode. And first, some technical descriptions for that. Simplified, your indoor trainer is generating a fixed resistance, and depending on your cadence, you need more or less power, means watt, to pedal against this fixed resistance. As higher the cadence against this fixed resistance, as higher is your reach power watt value. And more watt means more effort, less watt is easier. And your app is controlling the resistance now with two different modi, the ERG mode and the sim mode. And important point, the watt value is today the standard number that is used in modern training to control, and there are three important key figures about this watt. One is the FTP, the functional threshold power. That means the value you can pedal in average for 1 hour. The normalized power, that's different calculated average of your reach power. And TSS, the total stress score, that is to analyze your training efforts or also over a week and all this stuff. And with these values, you define your fitness level and also your training results. So let's check the ERG mode. In this mode, the inner training gets a target watt value from the app. And then if you reach currently less watt, the inner trainer is raising the resistance to ensure that you that you meet the target value. And also if you reach more watt, then the inner trainer is reducing the resistance. And so this happens continuously, and so you get a checked line from the actual result around the target value, as you can see here. Here the dotted line is the target, and around it you see the checked line. And your job is only to pedal the target cadence as regular as possible, and the rest is done by your indoor trainer. And so you don't have to use your shifter. Normally you use one of the middle gears. I say normally because if you want to reach a very low resistance value, then it's possible that you have to use an easier gear, else the technical resistance is not settable correctly by the indoor trainer. And also for very hard resistance, it's possible that you have to use a harder gear. That's dependent on your indoor trainer. Also, if your indoor trainer is not accurate enough, you can also connect your indoor trainer perhaps with your power meter on your bike. This is something possible, and then you can configure this in the app of the indoor trainer provider, for example in the power match mode, or in with a power meter link, it's called. And this means that the watt value reached on the power meter is used to control the resistance on the indoor trainer. This could be more accurate as the indoor trainer itself, but normally a modern indoor trainer is accurate enough. That's not necessary normally. But if you want to do it in with a hardware power match or power meter link. This is better as to do it in the software. And you find information about it in the documentation of your indoor trainer provider. So, and in this ERG mode, this means also you can control the target resistance only in the app and not on your bike. And this kind of control is perfect for structured training. Here you see you have different level of resistance. This is a low resistance, and then it's get higher and higher. And so at the end, the indoor trainer is checking that you reach all these steps. And normally this target resistance is computed as the percentage value from your FTP. but you can do it also, you can configure it in a workout also as an absolute value. The FTP has the advantage that if you get better results in the FTP, then you don't have to configure the workouts again. It's done automatically. With absolute values, you have to adapt it from time to time. But at the end, you can do both, and it's irrelevant for the InterTrainer because this is done by your app internally. So, one hint, if you want to increase the cadence, sometimes it's easier to shift in an easier gear for a short moment. Then you have less resistance. It's easier to increase the resistance then, and then the InterTrainer is adjusting then the resistance again, and you meet again the target value. And I do the same if I want to lower the resistance. I go in a harder gear, and then it's easier to decrease the cadence. So then we can to the sim mode. The sim mode is normally used if you ride a real course. As you see here, you have different levels of climb. Sometimes it's going up, sometimes you have also downhill. And in this case, the InterTrainer is calculating the resistance as a slope value, for example, 5% incline. And for this, your weight, your hay, the rolling, the wind resistance, only estimated for sure, is used also for this calculation to do it as accurate as possible. And now you reach the watt value, or the reached watt value depends on the used gear and the cadence. Easier gear means you reach a lower watt value, harder gear means you reach a higher watt value. And your job is to find the best fitting gear and to pedal your preferred or target cadence. And so this is corresponding to a real outdoor ride. It's the same as outdoor. You control the resistance on your shifter, on your gear shifter, and so you can ride an outdoor route very realistic on a basic of GPS data, for example, a GPX file as you see here, and the app is adjusting then every X meters or X seconds the slope, and so you feel as outdoor. And you can use this also to ride a route video or virtual generated route as motivation. That's very helpful normally. And but you can do also interval training on base of the slopes. This means you use a defined slope for a given time. Here you ride with 0 decrease. Here you have a harder, you have with 7% incline, and here you have 5% incline. And so it's easier here in this parts to ride it very hard. To do also interval training based on that. That's the sim mode. And why sometimes it's possible to know also about both possibilities. For example, for if you do a performance test, if you want to check your current state. If you do it in a ramp test, you see it here. You start very low and then you increase the resistance step by step. This is done in the ERG mode, and every X seconds the target value is increasing. And you ride as long as you suffer it, and then you stop it. That's a typical test process. And it's used in the ERG mode. But if you do the FTP test by Hunter Allen and Dr. Andrew Coogan, for example, you ride 5 or 20 minutes with the maximal power for this duration. And you can ride this in the ERG mode as in the sim mode. Both is possible. In the ERG mode, this means the app is setting a resistance, for example, in this 5 minutes step 100% of your FTP, and in the 20-minute step 105% of your FTP value. And then you have to control in the app. Then you have some buttons there to add some watt or remove watt, and you have to control it then in the app if you reach a better value in this 20 minutes or this 5 minutes or not. And normally it's also necessary to define FTP value before it, before you can start such a training or test procedure in the ERG mode. But you can do it also in the sim mode. Then the app is setting the resistance in the stress segments as a slope value, and you control your power value with your gear shifter as you do it outdoor in the climb. And so you do not need to know about your FTP. You do not have to set it before. That's not necessary. Here you have to ride this climb, this 5 minutes climb, as hard as possible in this 5 minutes. And here you have to ride this 20 minutes climb as hard as possible in this 20 minutes. And you control it with the gear shifter. So each FTP test handling has advantages and disadvantages. You can check what is better usable for you. But if you want to repeat your test procedure from time to time, you should use the same test setting then again and again and again. It's better than to compare it if it's the same procedure, else it's a little bit more difficult. Yeah, so this was about the sim mode. One short information about our icTrainer app. In the icTrainer app, you can change, if you're riding in the ERG mode, you can change very easily to the sim mode, and then you ride a climb. That's only one button here in the training dialog. You can change it there. That could be helpful if you decide that you want now to control the resistance by your shifter and not by the app. And then additional to the shifter, you can control the climb value, the current, if you want to go uphill, or with which percentage you want to have the slope. But the main part is to set the resistance at the gear shifter. And also, if you create a new workout, then you can add segments with, we can do it here. Now we have only ERG mode segments, and I can change this segment and set it to a 5% climb very easily. And then I have here ERG mode segment, and this is now a sim mode segment, and this is again a ERG mode segment. So you can mix this in the workouts in icTrainer very easily. That could be very helpful. Yeah, icTrainer, that's our app we are using for our training. It's absolutely the perfect tool for our cyclists and triathletes, and the training is anything but not. It's not boring, absolutely not. You can write the FTP performance profile and during tests, absolutely free of charge. You have a great range of functionalities for your perfect and motivating training. You can download training sessions for each level to help to train effectively. You can download your workouts also from Training Peaks or other training platforms very easily. You can adjust every exercise, very simple to find your correct level for resistance and duration. You can use training sessions with music and with video, so it's similar to spinning sessions in your gym. That's also very motivating, especially the music, and the music is also with the correct beat to meet the cadence you should ride. You can upload your results later to Training Peaks, Garmin Connect or Strava, or also today's plan and treaded intervals. You can write your favorite route or your next event as a GPX route, also with route videos. So this is also very motivating and helpful. You can write structured interval trainings with groups, with your friends. Then you write the same training session, the same workout parallel, also with music. And it's compatible with the most Bluetooth-enabled turbo trainers. for example, Elite, Tax, Wahoo, Kicker, the CycleOps, Saras, and many more. And it's available for Windows, Android, iOS, and macOS, and it's a very cheap alternative to other players in the market. And also, for example, one thing you can do, you can watch streaming Netflix, Amazon Prime, or whatever during your training in our browser. That could be also very helpful. If you're doing it anyway, then you have the workout displayed here, and here you have the browser to enjoy your movie or your series you're current. So that means just train, no game. See you there.